Oh man. Good evening, everyone. I know my lighting is not choice tonight, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. I didn't want to make this video in fear of my significant other seeing it, but at this point, I don't think that's a dilemma because she really doesn't care about my YouTube channel. It's not something she's gonna watch, so we'll just go ahead and get right the fuck over that. Update you guys on some things. The El Camino, we're getting parts to get it together. Everything should be here by Friday, and we'll start getting it together to where it runs and drives. The Monty that is outside, it's pretty much ready to go. There's gas in it now, so I can go try and test fire it tomorrow. I'm struggling with the valves on it. I don't know if I'm just ignorant or fucking stupid at this point, or if the threads on the studs are wore out, so they're just backing out, because I feel like I get it, and it's dialed in, and then it runs for a minute, and it backs the valves out. So I'm not really sure what's going on with it. The Cadillac that is next to it, you guys never got introduced to. It's owned by the same guy. It was going to go through the same shit, get it running, put a wiring harness in it, make it reliable, blah, 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 blah. That is probably not going to happen. The truck is done. It's running and driving. It is not because I acquired all the money to do it. It is because I pulled all the parts off of the Vic to make it run. Downing my car was not an easy choice for me. The Vic means the fucking world to me. I don't feel like I spent my entire life telling people I can. You know, most people didn't believe me, or they were hesitant, which is all fair feelings. But with the Vic, it gives me that emotional feeling of, I did it. Like, I don't have to look at you and be like, I can. I'd be like, I fucking did. So without that car, like, I don't feel like I'm me or I'm worthwhile. So to pull all the parts off of it, it really hurt my feelings. It still does. My relationship at home is not going good, you guys. I moved out here 2 years ago, June 23rd, to take care of the property for my significant other's family. And it was supposed to be a work for trade kind of deal. I take care of the property, the rent's paid for, blah, blah. And it worked that way for a while. And then it changed to I needed to pay all of the bills for the property after a couple of family members passed away. Which I don't mind, but it has definitely added stress. So there's that. That's why stuff's gone a lot slower on my personal projects. The client that I have that owns the El Camino and the Monty and the Cadillac is struggling with shipping stuff, which we're all struggling with. So that's why I haven't had many parts to do many projects. My relationship right now is failing. I don't know how you guys feel about emotional cheating, but emotional cheating to me is the same as physical cheating. You know, everybody has their own thing. But it's very hard for me. And I've had my own problems, and I'm very intolerable and hard to deal with, and not very open, and just don't care about pretty much anything. So like I'm not perfect. But if you bring a problem up to me, I try to understand it. I try and do my shit. And I get into these episodes where I'm doing really, really good. And then I get onto autopilot and I fuck shit up. And then I do really, really good. And then I got onto autopilot and fuck shit up. And that's just been my whole life, man. And all of my relationships have been, I learn the lessons that I need to learn, and I do the things that I need to do, but it's too late because the damage has been done. That's most of it. Because I have been emotionally distant and unopen, my significant other has seeked it in other places. When she seeks it in other places, it breaks my trust. And I can't do it anymore. I have 60 acres here. 58.2 to be exact. I have ducks and geese and roosters and chickens and turkeys and all kinds of monster fish and rats and a cat and a dog and my car and my truck, and I love my life, but I'm going to leave it all. I don't know when, but at some point in the very near future, Evan is going to come up here, and depending on the day, my dad is going to come up here with Evan. And I'm going to load the Vic on a trailer with a come-along. This one that's over here that's hanging in the rafters. Or maybe it's sitting on the truck back here. And we're going to put it behind Evan's truck. And I'm going to load up all of my tools and all of my stuff. And I'm going to go home to live in my dad's house. Now that in itself wouldn't be that bad. But here's the thing that you guys don't know. And this video is mostly for Autonoman and BST and a few other people that I know are probably going to make it this far through the video. I have a warrant out for my arrest in the state of Colorado, and I do not have a license. That is why you guys have not seen much activity from me away from the property. When I was separating from my ex-wife, we were trying to figure things out. We were living in different places. She was supposed to pick me up one day for some shit or another. Doesn't matter. And she didn't. And I called and texted her trying to figure out where she was and what was going on. And she answered and told me that she was at home and she was sick and she didn't feel good and she thought she was pregnant and she vanished. And I called and called and called and called and called her work. No response. And I drove past her house and she wasn't home. And I drove to her work and she was there. And I went inside calmly, and I looked at the receptionist lady, and I said, "Can I talk to Jennifer?" And she was like, "Sure," and she was super nice about it. And we stepped outside, and me and her were talking, and we were fine. Everything was fine. And her boss came out, and her boss looked at me, and she's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I was like, "I'm Jennifer's husband," and trying to talk to her. And her boss snapped. Hey, not only was I there, for one, but she didn't know that I was married to Jennifer. I think Jennifer had told her a different fucking story. So, like, she freaked out. And she pretty much took Jennifer back inside, like, stuck her arm around her, walked her back inside. And I got back in my truck, and I left. It was a truck that she had pretty much given me. And I went home to my dad's house. And I walked like 3 miles down the road to a local lake. And I walked around the lake. And I walked home, and I was super calm, and I was fine. And the moment I walked around the corner, the Grand Junction Police Department was sitting at my dad's house. I figured they just wanted to talk to me, blah, blah, whatever. They arrested me for harassment with a domestic violence enhancer. To be very specific, it is Colorado. It is a 3rd-degree misdemeanor for phone harassment with a domestic violence enhancer because I did it to a significant other. Now, the other thing on top of this, I'm going to be completely truthful with you guys and not lie to you, is that I posted said truck for free on Craigslist, and I put Jennifer's phone number on it and Jennifer's work phone number on it. That is not illegal in the state of Colorado. That's freedom of speech. And technically I wasn't the one calling, so I wasn't the one harassing them. But regardless, my multiple phone calls to get a hold of her led to a charge, and they dropped the Craigslist shit. I went to jail for that for 6 days, I think. And they let me out on a PR bond. And I went home, and they set me up on probation and shit. And I did not get along with my probation officer whatsoever. I fucking hated her. I still do. I'm not going to mention her name because it's not important. But, we just didn't get along. And she wasted a lot of my time. And the significant other that I'm with now lived in a different county. So I had everything transferred to that different county. And it took so long to get everything transferred and all the paperwork because it got lost by my probation officer. One of the reasons why I hate her. And it took so long that it ran the clock out. So they violated my probation. And I went to court for the probation violation hearing, whatever the first step is. And my public defender looked at me and she's like, "You're going to do 6 months in jail and there's nothing you can do about it." So I ran. That's why I have a warrant out for my arrest. And that is something that I'm going to be dealing with. I do not have my license because I got in a car accident when I was 18 in a stupid, piddly little small town, and the judge pissed me off and I told him to get fucked, and he's like, "If you walk out of my courtroom, I'm going to take your license." And I was like, I walked out because I was 18 and I did a burnout in the parking lot. I haven't had a license since. That's unrelated. But I do have a warrant. So, because of the warrant, I can't have a license. Okay? You feel me here? So, my relationship that I am in now with the significant other that I have now. To make this really simple for you guys, It is failing because we have different love languages. I am very physically affectionate. Like, I need to tell you that I love you all the time, and like, I'm clingy, and I want to touch you and hold hands, and very huggy and lovey. This is my love language, okay? Her love language is based on you need to assume, or you need to understand. So, she buys me tools, she goes and runs the errands that I need, she makes sure the bills are paid, she makes sure that I have my weed shit, she makes sure that we have food, she takes care of this, she takes care of that, she does the laundry. I need to understand that she loves me just on the things that she does. This is the way that she was raised. Okay? They're two totally different things. And as much as I love this woman with all of my heart, I can no longer do it. At some point, I am leaving. You guys are not going to see a whole lot of content from me until then, unless it's little fiddly small stuff. I am going home back to the other side of the state to live with my dad. I'm going to turn myself in, or whatever needs to happen to make the warrant go away. And at worst, I'm going to get that 6 months. I called an attorney here in Denver, and he said in the 20 years that he's been doing this, he's only seen one person get the maximum. So that's good to know. Now, I've already served 19 days in jail, so the absolute maximum that they could throw at me is 5 months and 12 days. So, for 5 months and 12 days, your boy might be gone and sitting in jail. But that's okay. Because if I get this shit over with and get all of this fucking domestic violence harassment charge out of my fucking life, I'll be good there. So I won't have this warrant over here. And then with that done, I have the ability to pay off the fines that I had when I told that judge to fuck off so I can get my license back. Okay? I'm keeping all of my tools because they're my fucking tools. So I'll have all my tools. I will have the Vic, which is not broken, but it is definitely down. I will have my truck. I will have my dad. I will have Evan. And I will start over. The next year and a half of my life is very, very uncertain. Because I don't want to sit in jail. I don't know what's going to happen at my dad's house because I have no relationship with my mother and she's still married to him. Every day I feel like a burden to my brother because of the shit that we fucking put him through. Like, he's my rock. Like, I always gotta have somebody to talk to. He's it. I don't know, man. I'm just struggling. And this channel isn't about Doyle's Garage or Doyle's Monster Fish. This channel is about me and my personal expression. I don't know that Doyle's Garage is going to continue, but I will. I am Doyle Thomason. I am the 460 guy. And no matter what happens, I need to remember that. I'm a very capable mechanic, very knowledgeable. I feel like I'm a sweetheart. I feel like I'm kind-hearted. And I'm just not in the right place. And I'm willing to give it all up to find that place. I've never been to my dad's new house. I haven't been home in over 2 years. I haven't been to jail in almost 3 years. Like, a lot's changed. I kind of know what I'm going home to, but at the same time, I don't know what I'm going home to. But I know it's for the better. So not only do I hope this video lets you guys know what's going on, but I hope somebody out there sees it and knows that, you know, shit's tough, but you gotta go. Like, the right person hearing that's gonna know what I'm talking about. Love language is a crazy thing, man. I didn't know about it like 2 months ago. And one of my previous clients came over here. Super respectful guy. Super respectful guy. Love him to death. The reason that he respects me and he likes me so much is I broke something on his truck that I was working on. And I was honest enough to tell him. And he came over here and he brought me a book about love language that I've read on a little bit. I love that girl to death, but the way she was raised is wrong. At least my opinion. Her dad worked out of town, and her mom and dad wouldn't talk for like a week or two. And that was just fine. Like, whenever they talked was whenever. And I can't do that. Like, I gotta have communication. Like, their love was implied or based on assumption. And I can't do that. Like, no homo, but I kissed my dad as a kid. Like, I remember sitting on the couch and waiting for him to come home. And, like, I'd hear him pull up in the driveway in a yellow 93 Ford Escort. And I'd run out and I'd hug him and I'd tell him I love him. Like, she didn't get that. And I did. So, like, our love languages are different. And there's no meeting in the middle. Because she feels like she's suppressed. And she hasn't got to be her. And she doesn't want to change because she just wants to be her. So, either I love her in her love language, or I don't love her at all. And I can't do that, so I'm just going to have to take the latter. She's cheated a bunch, y'all. 99% of it has been emotional cheating. For the entire 3 years that we've been together, she's always got some dude that she's fucking texting. I love you, baby, blah, blah, sending pictures. Always something. And the answer is always different on why, until now, of course. We'll get to that in a second. But to start with, she needed her ego stroked. She's a bigger girl, and she struggles with that. I love her no matter how big she is, but she doesn't see that because she has body dysmorphia or some shit like that, so I can tell her that she's beautiful and give her all the admiration in the world, but it doesn't matter because she doesn't fucking feel it, and getting a compliment from anybody doesn't fucking matter, so it doesn't matter. And then she was supposed to be going to Wyoming for some kind of medical deal to get recertified because she's in the medical field. I was fine with that. I'm chill with that. Cool, you want to continue your education? That's fine. Well, she was gone. I got a text message asking me if I knew where she was. And I told this person where I thought she was, and she's like, no. She is with so-and-so, and they are at so-and-so. And this was confirmed. Like, okay. And it was some dude that she knew previously, that she's had a relationship with, that she's got a bunch of pictures with on Facebook. They went and got engaged. 'Cause fuck me, right? And she told me it was because he loved her for her. And he didn't yell. So I've been working really hard to keep my tone of voice down and not yell at her and love her for her. Because I do love her for her. And it just doesn't matter. The damage that has been done in our relationship has been done by both parties, and there's no fixing it. She feels that I have suppressed her being her for so long that she doesn't know who she is anymore. Which is an understandable feeling. And I feel like the trust has been broken like a mirror. That you can't put a band-aid on and just hope that it's fixed. And man, if I fucking tried. I want this relationship to work so goddamn bad that none of you even fucking know. I watch a guy named Gary V on YouTube. And I got super frustrated and I came out here and I started drinking. And smoking. And listening to him. And I went inside and I told her that I was heartbroken. And that I was heartbroken because I was scared that the relationship I wanted with her isn't possible anymore. And that I was saddened by the fact that it could have been possible and it wasn't. And I told her that I understand the way that she was raised. And I understand her love language because of the way she was raised. But I told her I can't do that. Like, I need physical affection. I need to know that you love me on top of everything else that you're doing. Like, I just need to be told and reminded. I need to feel appreciated. And I got nothing, y'all. Literally nothing. And I was like, are you going to say anything? And she's like, you waited all day until I'm ready to go to bed when I got to work at 7 o'clock in the morning to do this. And I got no reply. I told her earlier today that I feel like she's very controlling and manipulative with conversations. And she's not the only one that's guilty of that. But I told her it's got to be on her terms, like, all the fucking time. Doesn't matter when I say shit or fucking how I say shit. Like, if she's not ready to talk, she's not ready to talk. It's always a fucking bad time of day. Like, I'm trying. I'm fucking trying. For anybody that makes it through this video, I love you guys. I hope you have a good night. And I look forward to a brighter future and a brighter tomorrow for me and this channel. Couple silver linings for you guys. The drag strip is only a couple miles from my dad's house, the one I grew up at, my home track. So that'll be easy. It's not 40 miles to fucking Morrison or whatever the fuck it is here. It's like 4 miles. So you'll be able to get to see the Vic at the track. And then another couple miles down the road is a place that we can, like an open burnout pad kind of place. I'll show you guys that. You have to look for Buick burnouts or some bullshit, Buick Roadmaster burnouts or some shit down below. But that's the same place. So we'll have that going on. Supposedly they're not arresting on felony warrants right now, and they're only doing felony warrants. They're not arresting on misdemeanor warrants. So I'm hoping to get the warrant quashed and reset a court date and try and handle it shit that way, but doubtful. Either way, I'm loaded up and I'm headed home. I'm not gonna have the shop anymore. It's gonna be weird. I'm not gonna have all my project cars anymore. It should be weird. Evan and I are very unsure on the S10. We don't know if he's gonna come get it or we're gonna lose it. He says it doesn't really matter to him as long as he gets me home. Which hurts my feelings, but the wagon, me and that guy don't fucking get along, and he's very disrespectful of my time, so that car is leaving the property. The dude that owns the other cars knows that the clock is ticking and I'm probably leaving at some point, so he's trying to get as much done as possible. Hoping to have a title for the truck Tuesday, and then I gotta come up with the rest of the money to get it registered and finished. And then after that, I'm just waiting on a day that a trailer can be brought up, and then I'm going home. I don't want to go home. I want to fix this relationship, but I don't think it's possible anymore. I think I'm going to have to spend the next year and a half rebuilding my life by going to jail and getting all my legal shit taken care of, and getting my license back, and getting a divorce, and yada yada, and then I'll be able to start over. So yeah, Autonoman BSD. This video is pretty much for you guys because I don't know that anybody else is gonna watch it all the way through, but this is where your boy's at. Let's do a shot. Won't call it a night with you guys. I'm gonna go back to listening to my music and chilling out, enjoying the peace and quiet out here before I gotta go back to the city life. All kinds of shotguns and pistols, and everybody freaking out because they think they're fucking badasses, and MS-13. The cesspit that is Grand Junction. So I had to dab to that. This video's long enough. What's a couple more seconds? I love you guys. I hope you have a good night. And I look forward to a brighter future and a better tomorrow.